Today, I will bring you a very useful book that highlights 4 misconceptions about money. There's a saying, your mindset about money will determine your fate, whether you are rich or poor. So what is your mindset about money? Is it correct? The book, The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel, offers us a perspective that goes against conventional views about money. It reminds us to avoid misconceptions about finances and significantly improves our investment abilities, as well as our personal financial development. I hope the content of this book that I want to convey through today's video can assist you on your journey of managing and developing your finances. At the beginning of the book, the author introduces a story about an American philanthropist named Ronald Read. He lived in a suburb and reached the age of 92, leading a simple life. Everything seemed very ordinary until people discovered that his net worth amounted to $8 million USD. Before he passed away, he had prepared a will and used most of his wealth for charity. Everyone was curious about how he amassed such a fortune and whether there was some dark secret behind it. However, upon investigation, there were no secrets. He didn't win the lottery, engage in illegal activities, or inherit any wealth. The only thing he did was continuously accumulate the money he earned and invest it for the long term. On the other hand, there was a man named Richard Fuscone, a Harvard MBA graduate. After graduating, he became a senior manager and was very successful in the finance industry. By the age of 40, he could retire early. However, after a few years of retirement, he borrowed a large sum from the bank to renovate his mansion, expanding it with many luxurious amenities and furnishings, more bathrooms, and 2 large swimming pools. This mansion became his entertainment venue for parties. Just the monthly maintenance costs alone reached 90,000 USDs. He lived extravagantly, frequently spending a lot on parties. But not long after, in 2008, the financial crisis hit, and a significant portion of his assets vanished in an instant. The large debts from the bank and low liquidity assets led him to bankruptcy. Through these 2 stories, we see that saving money and accumulating wealth is the way to keep money actively working for you. No matter how much wealth you generate, if you are obsessed with material life, it may never be enough, and you will never find a stopping point. Now, I would like to share with you 4 misconceptions about money that we should know as early as possible. The first mistake is that we are never satisfied with the wealth we already have. The book mentions a story about Jesse Livermore, a highly successful stock trader in the 1920s. He quickly became one of the richest men in America, which made him increasingly confident and eager for more success. Therefore, he borrowed a huge sum to invest in the stock market, but due to misjudgments and mistakes, he lost all his money in an instant. He fell into deep debt and ultimately went bankrupt. At the same time, his marriage faced many problems and his wife left him. These 2 crises occurring simultaneously led him to take his own life in his own home. Another story involves Rajat Gupta, the former chairman of the world's most famous consulting company, McKinsey & Company, who had a fortune of about 1 billion USD. However, he always wanted to be richer to step into the billionaire club. Therefore, he plotted to use insider information to profit in the stock market, but was ultimately exposed and sentenced to 2 years in prison. In an instant, both his reputation and career were destroyed. The human desire for material wealth is never ending. When we obtain something, we always want more. Our greed knows no bounds. This is human nature. On one hand, it can motivate us to develop financially, but if we use this nature to manage and earn money, it can lead to irrational behaviors and undesirable outcomes. Additionally, social comparison acts as a catalyst, causing many people to never feel satisfied. There will always be someone richer, earning more, living in a bigger house, or driving a better car than you. The reality is that once you own these material possessions, you will find they hold little meaning and do not bring joy to your life. We spend a lot of time striving for a higher income and a better quality of life, but we must recognize that at some point, we need to learn to live sufficiently. Enough is a phrase many have heard, but applying it in life is not something everyone can do. So, what should we do? Remember these 4 things. 1. Stop comparing yourself to others and what you have with what others own. 2. Stop chasing trends. 3. Don't care too much about what others think of you. 4. Appreciate what you have. By embracing these 4 principles, you will find it easier to achieve happiness. The second mistake is believing that you need to spend money to gain respect from others. The author presents a psychological phenomenon. When you see a beautiful, expensive car on the street, if you observe your inner thoughts, you will find that most of us do not think the driver is wealthy and successful. Instead, we think that if we had such a car, people would view us as very successful. Here's something to note. People often want to use external material possessions to prove their success, but in reality, others rarely pay attention to the owner of those possessions. They only notice the material items themselves. Therefore, trying to gain respect through material goods is completely misguided. Often, when you desire a beautiful home, a luxury car, or an expensive item, your inner motivation is to gain respect and admiration from others. If you have these desires and thoughts, pause and ask yourself what your true motivations are. You will never earn respect from others through external possessions. Instead, learn to be humble and empathetic towards those around you. The third misconception is that true wealth consists of things we cannot see. The author shares a story from his youth about a friend named Roger, who owned a Mercedes at a young age, but later had to sell it because he couldn't afford the payments. This changed the author's perspective on Roger and led him to reflect deeply on money. In America, many people are like this, and most tend to assess others' financial success based on what they see: houses, cars, and lavish lifestyles displayed on social media. However, these things do not represent a person's wealth. When we see someone driving a $100,000 car, we must understand that their account has decreased by $100,000, or they might be burdened with a $100,000 loan to pay for that car. We cannot know how much money they actually have in the bank or how much they invest. Having money is different from being wealthy. Money refers to monthly income, while wealth refers to how much actual capital and assets you retain. If someone has a $100,000 financed car, it means they must have enough income to cover that loan payment each month. However, we don't know how much wealth they truly possess. Wealth is usually used for investments or business to generate more money. This is a blind spot that leads to misconceptions. We do not see others' assets, so we tend to evaluate financial success based on external material possessions. People are very adept at mimicking the excessive spending behaviors of others, which can lead you to believe that successful individuals must possess such items. You should know that the truly wealthy often live very simply, while those who appear glamorous might be on the brink of bankruptcy. So if your goal is to strive to be like those you see living lavishly, stop and reflect immediately. The author wisely states that most people want to have millionaire assets, but deep down, they actually want to spend $1 million. There's a simple philosophy about money we need to understand. Spending money to show off wealth is the quickest way to run out of money. Be rational in managing and using your own money. The fourth misconception is that wealth brings us freedom. Those who are hedonistic often say that having a lot of money means you can't take it with you when you die, so saving money is meaningless. The author advises us to change our mindset regarding this issue. Beyond material possessions, freedom offers us the greatest returns, meaning it gives us the ability to control our lives and time. A study from the University of Michigan shows that the more choices people have, the easier it is for them to achieve happiness. When you have the power to choose how to spend your time with those you like and do the work you desire, it brings more happiness than buying a large house or climbing to a high position in a company. Accumulating wealth bit by bit helps you become more independent and autonomous financially. Change your mindset a little. Money you haven't spent doesn't mean it lacks significance. It gives you more choices in life and flexibility with your time. For example, if you have enough savings to cover your living expenses for a year, you gain flexibility in how you spend that year. You will have more time to truly understand yourself and find a job that suits you, rather than being stuck in a job that frustrates you. The more money you accumulate, the more choices you will have. You can choose to take lower-paying jobs that don't require overtime or excessive time commitment, allowing you to spend your free time doing what you love or pursuing your personal development plans. Use your money to buy time and choices in your life because very few luxurious items can bring true happiness and freedom. Our lives today are much wealthier than those of our ancestors. Yet studies show that up to 45% of people feel unhappy and stressed. The author points out that the primary cause is that many of us want to spend money to buy expensive items, which means we give up the right to control our time. For example, if someone finances an item beyond their means, it means that during the repayment period, they will bind themselves to a job, forcing them to earn money to pay off that item. Thus, during the time they are repaying their bank loan, they will not have the opportunity to explore other life experiences. In the book, the author passionately recommends another book titled 30 Lessons for Living, which interviewed 1,000 elderly people about their experiences and insights on life to distill the philosophy of living. None of them said that to live happily, you must strive to earn money to buy what you want. No one said you must at least strive to match those around you or have more money to be considered successful. No one said that having a lot of money guarantees happiness. What they cared about was being able to gather with friends, contribute value to the community, and have time with family. Finally, the author shares that after many years, his income has increased significantly, but his way of living remains unchanged. He, along with his wife and children, lives in a very ordinary house, drives a regular car, wears simple t-shirts, and enjoys delicious family meals. Most of the joys in life come from walking, reading, and listening to podcasts. These pleasures do not require much money. This way of living may not suit everyone, but we should find a way of life that allows us to find contentment in our souls beyond material possessions. As stated in this book, true success is withdrawing from endless competition, adjusting your life, and achieving inner peace. That's what I wanted to share with you. I hope today's video provides you with some insights into your mindset about money. If you find this video helpful, please give it a like and share it with those who need it. This is the greatest support for me. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications to catch my videos.